Okay. So let's just settle. Bring your feet to the floor about parallel, about a hip's width apart. If you haven't already, if you're not already sitting on a cross-legged position, and you're sort of sitting at your desk with the legs down, and then just feel the sensation of either your legs on the floor or your feet on the floor, or your legs, the weight of your legs on top of your feet. And then just feel the sensation of your palms in your lap, and just allow the weight of your pelvis to be released into the chair. And now align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. So making your spine nice and long. And then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there, relaxing your scalp, your forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the tongue. Relax the throat. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Then be aware of any of the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. The nostrils, the chest cavity, the belly. And then be aware of any sound in your environment, any potential distractions. Just allowing it all to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just check your mind this evening, this morning, wherever you are, the middle of the day. And just watch all the thoughts arise and abide and then dissolve. And they will dissolve if you don't engage the mind and carry on a story. Because we have millions of thoughts all the time, all day long, all night long. Brain is working. Mind is working. But just allow those thoughts without judgment, without any kind of expectation, without opinions. Just allow the thoughts to arise, to abide, and just let them go. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, and those ones you aren't particularly fond of, you don't like. And remembering that due to impermanence, they're all equal. Due to impermanence, these relationships are impermanent. The people, no matter how you think about them, they're all equal. They're all the same. Whether you like them one day and love them the next, doesn't make any difference. They didn't change. They just want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they all have an unbelievable capacity for an enlightened mind, just like you and me. So we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification practice is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. For the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, and then in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sakta aham pe. Ambhadrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Ambhadrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita Dina meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Ambhadrasapha samaya manupalaya, vajrasapha dina patita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva hum. Hey. So be so delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And imagine there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapha dina patita, dina meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakta ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapha dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa, maha samaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, Dina meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hom ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dina meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine this happens instantaneously. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and then all the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled. All your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, anxiety, bitterness, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum. Hey. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And then think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and just blasts all of the delusions. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabosidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mamimutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa, mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Te. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. So this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So you think you just really want to do this and everything is just kind of sitting on the top of the wish, the aspiration, just waiting for you to take that step forward. But first of all, you have to want to do it. Then you kind of make a plan. So you think about all the things you want to change in yourself. Some of them are really subtle. Some of them are like, we have this kind of rumination going on in our hearts. And we're kind of like telling ourselves off all the time. So maybe that could be something that we stop. And maybe instead we can encourage ourselves. Just something as simple as that. And maybe your first step is to develop some awareness around some of the habits, particularly the ones that harm you, like the I mean, all the negative habits harm us, but the ones where you're, maybe eating too much sugar or talking to yourself negatively or biting your fingernails off, whatever, like that. And just work a little bit on it, maybe over the weekend. And Vajrasattva, imagine, is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Verse 6, the wisdom of the Immaculate Dhammadhatu. He is Mahavaryachana, the Buddha, great sage observing great intensive silence. Arising from the great mantra way, he is at heart the great mantra way. Accomplished in the 10 paramitas, having the 10 paramitas as home, in whom the 10 paramitas are pure, for whom the 10 paramitas are means. Protector reigning over all 10 grounds, residing steadily on all 10 grounds, made pure in nature by the tenfold knowledge, maintaining purity through tenfold knowledge. All right, everyone. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of your precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for handling all the slides. Thank you, Shayla, for setting up. Thanks for coming. I hope you have a good sleep tonight. And lots of love, everybody. And I will see you on Monday. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Okay, thank you.